Before we break for questions, perhaps I thought just to give a bit of a flavor of the book. I always personally don't like it to have, say, an art critic describe a painting without showing it, or a music critic playing the music. So if we're discussing a novel, I think it makes sense to give a little taste.
Yeah, because of course a novel is not just its ideas.
It's not an idea.
You're right. It's not a thesis. It's art.
So and also it gives me an excuse to be to express my inner ham. As a lecturer, I don't often get an opportunity to read lines from a real character. So I'm going to.
Is that okay with you? Very short.
Okay, so let's.
We'll take parts.
So the setup is that our protagonist, who has suddenly become famous, he's living with a woman whom he is besotted with, a woman he adores,
in an almost a religious way.
mathematician named Lucinda Mandelbaum, who is a specialist in the field of mathematics called game theory. And she is so brilliant that in her field she's called the goddess of game theory. Anyway, he has just recently moved in with her when who should show up but an old girlfriend while Lucinda is out of town. The old girlfriend from graduate school days is an anthropologist named Roz. They've just been reunited and they are taking a drive together on the way to the university where Cass teaches.
So they're in a car together, and she has spent much time in the field studying Amazonian hunter-gatherers. And they've given her a name that means, in their language, a whole lot of woman. She is.
And we actually consulted with an anthropologist friend of ours who worked in the Amazon to make sure that the name that she got really does mean a whole lot of woman.
These kind of details that really matter, I think.
Okay, and the conversation, as you'll see, will turn to a major character in the novel who is a former mentor and, as Cass puts it, a former tormentor of his. So I'm Cass. Look over there, Roz. Do you see the way the Russian water has carved out a cathedral in the ice in the frozen river? It's sublime, isn't it?
Sublime? Cathedral? So this is how the atheist with the soul carries on. Sounds like there's a whole lot more soul than atheism going on in there. How'd you come to write a book like that anyway?
We can talk about my book later. Let's concentrate on you first.
You always know the right thing to say. Okay, so you want to know what I'm doing now that I've retired from academia. You won't believe it. Cass, this is the most exciting adventure of my life.
I hope this one doesn't involve international lawyers and investigators from the State Department.
No, this is one you're going to love. This one is unbelievable. I've started my own nonprofit. It's called the Immortality Foundation. We're going to conquer aging. It's ironic. I retire so that I can devote myself to wiping out old age. You have no idea how close to our goal we really are. Anybody who can just hold on long enough is going to make it. We don't have to accept aging. Think of it. We don't have to accept decline and decay and diminution. Aging is simply barbaric. It's like bubonic plague.
You don't literally mean immortality, do you?
You think I'm going off the right end, right? I'm sorry, you think I'm going off the deep end, right? You think I'm going to end up like the clap. Yahweh rest his bogus soul.
Rest his soul? My God, Roz, is he dead? My God, I hadn't heard anything.
Calm down, Cass, calm down. You're going to kill us both. Nope, I haven't heard he died. I just assumed it.
Don't do that to me.
I'm sorry, Cass. I should have thought before I spoke.
That'll be the day.
I'm sorry, my God. I didn't know he still has that kind of hold on you. I'm really sorry.
It's okay, Roz, I'm okay. And who knows, maybe Professor Clapper has died.
I honestly had taken it for granted. I haven't heard a word about him in years, so I just naturally assumed he was dead. What else could have shut him up for so long?
It's true that it's been decades since he's published anything.
It's like he disappeared off the face of the earth. That guy was always publishing. He'd excuse himself to go to the bathroom and come out holding his latest. It's like he shat magnum opus. Is that the plural?
Opera.
Really?
The plural of opus is opera.
I love the way you know these things. How do you know these things?
Professor Clapper.
Which brings me back to the question, how could he have deprived the world for so long of his erudition? That is, if he's still alive.
But surely there would have been an obituary in the Times. He was too important in his day for his passing to go unremarked.
Well, I could easily have missed it. I spend a lot of time in places that don't have the New York Times home delivery.
Believe me, even your hunter-gatherers will know when Jonas Elijah Clapper dies.
If you think that, then you're still delusional. I know he loomed larger than life itself for you and his other hierophants, but that was collective lunacy.
Granted, but he was still a monumental figure. He'll get a major obituary in the Times.
There was nothing monumental about him besides his ego.
That's not true. His memory was phenomenal.
Okay, the guy had memorized a lot of stuff. I think that's what convinced you he was a genius.
Well, it certainly convinced him.
I once called him Gertrude Stein in drag on account of his major project being to convince everyone else of his genius. It wounded you deeply.
You were always wounding me deeply when it came to Jonas Elijah Clapper.
Just so long as I never wounded you about anything important. What about that magnum opus he was working on? The magnum opus to top all magnum opera. Did it ever appear?
No.
On Messianism, right? That was supposed to be his latest thunderclap, right?
The messianic ideal in the course of world history, 1750 BCE to 1988 CE.
He makes an earth-shattering discovery so big he can't even share it with his elected ones, and then he just shuts up about it? I think the only rational conclusion is that he's dead.
Maybe he discovered his discovery wasn't so great after all.
Oh, come on, Cass. You know he wasn't capable of self-criticism. The only proof that any one of his thoughts ever required was that he had thought it. So you never tried to get in touch with him over all these years?
Lord, no.
You were cosmically furious.
Was I? I don't remember that. I just remember being cosmically confused.
You've never been great about getting in touch with your anger. What a colossal mess that guru with the kuru of yours created.
Kuru?
The human equivalent of mad cow disease. You get it from eating the brain of your dead ancestors.
I got to say, you're the one who sounds furious.
I was back then, the whole time we were together.
Really, it's amazing all the fun we had.
Just think of the fun we could have now with the clap no longer in your life. Oh yeah, now there's Lucinda.
You know, I don't think I ever really held Clapper responsible. He was in the grip of something inexorable.
No excuse. Some mental diseases are moral diseases too. You can be insane and a mean, selfish bastard simultaneously.
I know you think so.
He was obscene.
I thought it was against the anthropologist code of ethics to call anything obscene.
Even among the Unama, who don't even have the concept of privacy, what with the guys running around with just a string holding up their foreskins, and the women wearing just these little ruffly waistbands that don't hide a thing, nobody would ever publicly masturbate the way Clapper did.
I assume you're speaking metaphorically. That's metaphorical masturbation?
With that tumescent ego of his standing in for the prize. Okay, I'll stop. Let me just say that I'm proud that I was never taken in by him. I never could believe how he took you in.
He took in a lot of better minds than mine.
All except the British.
Who seem to have lost, together with their empire, the ability to appreciate Jonas Elijah Clapper.
I'm glad to see that you can laugh about him now. That's healthy.
It's taken me long enough. What is it?
I'm taking to heart your implied admonition that I should think before I speak.
You're an old retired dame. You're not about to change your ways now. Go ahead and say it.
Well, I was just thinking what a deeply personal book The Varieties of Religious Illusion, which by the way I loved, actually is. Every one of us is in it, in a way. Clapper, and Azaria, and Gideon, and me too. You've worked us all into what everybody thinks is a psychologist's learned discussion about religion.